I want to talk to you guys about a venomous snake biting you. Here in Tennessee, we got four that are pretty deadly. And every year people die from getting bit from snakes, which could have been prevented if they had a little bit of know-how. So I'm going to give you my take on it, and don't believe everything I say. Do your own research. Check with your doctors. But this will give you an idea of what to do and how to do things and look at things a little bit differently. I want to first start off with, on Amazon, there are all kinds of snake bite kits for sale. They don't work. None of them do. It's a gimmick. It's like a snake oil salesman. They've been selling them for years. Now Sawyer, if I can find it, Sawyer's first product was invented in 1984, and it was the snake bite suction kit. And they still sell it today. Now Sawyer is known for their water purifier system. So I have some questions. If they're selling something that they know doesn't work, the suction kit for snake bites, why are they still selling it? Why don't they remove it? Now, they do have a video on their suction kit on YouTube, and I went and checked it out, but they disabled the comments, probably because people were saying it doesn't work. Whenever you see a product that somebody's disabled the comments, be very, very leery what you're walking into. Because obviously somebody was warning somebody and they shut the comments down. And on top of that, there's a whole bunch of stores selling the Sawyer product. This product will kill you. And every store that's selling it, they're all high-end stores, they don't care. Why would they? And it should be illegal. Here you're going to be walking through the bush, you thought you bought this snake bite kit, you're going to pull it out of your pack, you're going to try and use it, and you're going to think, okay, I'm okay, I'll now get my butt to the hospital. When you get bit, the snake juice goes into you, it turns into molecules, and basically it starts to get sucked up into the muscles like a sponge. And it travels through you. Do you think you have enough time to open that pack, get that kid out? What's it going to take, a minute or two? By that time, the venom's already in you. Common sense tells you that does not work. But yet they're selling these kits through. And this is the thing that bothers me about their water filter. If they're willing to sell this suction kit, okay, that they know for a fact doesn't work and can kill people, why are they selling? Does the Sawyer water purifier really work? I mean, some people would swear up and down. A lot of people on the Appalachian Trail use it. But I've also seen people travel down the Appalachian Trail without a filter, just to run with 7 pounds and run their pack so light it's ridiculous. And they run full out because they want to do that trail fast. Now they'll drink the water without filtering it. They get the shits, they don't care, they keep going. But is the water clear enough on the Appalachian Trail as they go where the filter really doesn't filter all that much? I don't know. I have questions about that. When I see a company selling something that they know damn well it can kill people, well, that makes me question their other products now. And these, like I said, these things should be illegal. They should be totally shut down. Now, I found this, and I want to read this to you. The reality is there's nothing that you can carry that is a better solution. The treatment for a snake bite kit is antivenom. Antivenom is the only thing that works. There's nothing else out there. Other than that, nothing really helps. I tell my patients in the event of being bitten, have car keys ready and cell phone ready to go. Stay calm. Minimize movement of the extremity and get to the hospital ASAP. Benadryl, suction devices, etc. don't do anything but potentially cause more harm. That's it. This stuff don't work. Okay? So, this is scary stuff. A lot of you guys have gardens, you're tromping around out there. You very well could end up with a snake in your garden and you could end up putting your life in danger. Now, something about antivenom, I want you to understand, it has been made the same way as it is now for 120 years. Scientists get their venom from the snake. You've seen them bleed a snake out, right? They then inject tiny amounts of the venom into a large animal, commonly a horse or a sheep. Over time, the animal develops antibodies in its blood. The animal is then bled, and the blood is purified to keep just the useful part, which is the antivenom. Now, that seems pretty easy, right? And there's people, that's all they do for a living, is they have a whole bunch of snakes and they basically bleed them out. Well, not bleed them, get the venom out of them. They put the teeth through the cup. Now, there's a venom called antivenom called Crofab. And here we go with Big Pharma again, and hospitals, okay? Crofab is a $3,190 per vial. So almost $3,200 for one vial of the antivenom, according to the Healthcare Information Tech Company. Now, you would think, okay, $3,200. What if you need 4 vials? And a lot of people do. Well, you're into like what, $15,000, $20,000. But there's more going on behind the scenes than you know. Hospitals are charging $15,000 a vial, even though Crofab's charging $3,200. Or that's what it's called, Crofab. So you got all this going on in the background. I read articles where people were in the hospital for a week and they ended up with bills of $150,000 because they got bit by a snake. Can you imagine if you ended up in the hospital and ended up with a bill like that? You better have some pretty good insurance. And most people don't. And that's the scary part. Now, there is an antivenom that Mexico makes at $200 a vial, but they cannot sell it in the U.S. because the company that makes Crofab has said they have gone against their copyrights or whatever. Basically, they're trying to hold them up in courts for the next 10 years, is what they're doing, because they want their product to be the only one sold. This is the ridiculous crap that's going on in the background. So we had it with the EpiPens, and now we've got it with the antivenom. It's almost like if you need something in the United States of America that you horribly have to have, they screw you. I'd hate to see what the cancer charges are in this country. I really would. I mean, but it's just ridiculous with everything that goes on. Now, what was this one? Snake bites kill an estimated of 81,000 to 140,000 people per year. I believe in the United States it's 8,000 people that have bitten by a snake, but only 5 or so die. So you have a good chance in the United States. But most of the time it's in rural areas like third world countries. And 400,000 people are usually left with, blindness, amputated limbs, legs, and stuff like that. So what do you do if you get bit by a snake? Follow these steps. You get bit. Take 4 to 5 steps back and sit down immediately. Takes about 5-10 minutes for the reaction to kick in. You may have your blood pressure go up. You may pass out. Everybody's different. Okay? And there ain't nothing you can do to stop this. If your reaction is so different that it kills you, then you're dead. But if your reaction is where it kind of lowers your blood pressure, you get dizzy, but you're able to keep yourself awake and you want to do the best you can, once that passes and you adapt to it a little bit, now you want to get your butt to the hospital. If you're backpacking and it's like 2 hours out, don't even take the pack. Drop it, go. Call a friend, come back for the pack later, whatever. Try not to pump your blood any more than you have to. And I even seen articles where people had, fancy GPS gadgets to where they would call for help, but by the time a helicopter got to them 2 to 4 hours later, well, they could have walked out in 1 hour. Where you got bit, depending on the type of snake that bites you, it starts eating flesh. And the reason they can't give you antivenom in a syringe or whatever that you just pop yourself like an EpiPen is because every snake's different and every person's different. Now, don't kill the snake. Don't go after the snake if he bites you. Don't chase him down. A lot of people end up getting multiple bites by doing that. So don't do that. Let him go. Back up. That's why you back up 4 or 5 steps and sit down, because he's away from you. That's the whole idea of that. Now, if you can pull out your cell phone and get a picture of them, don't go up to them and, and all that, or you'll get bit again. Stay safe. They don't really need it, but it does help if you can get a picture. Because if you circle it with a black magic marker where you got bit, and then what they're going to do as it starts eating, they draw a line, put a time. They draw a line, put a time. This is determining how much anti-venom they give you, and it has to be a special doctor that does this. It can't just be anybody. Somebody that has experience. And he will know how much anti-venom to administrate to you. Now, he might give you more 1 hour, less a little bit later. Then he's got to monitor you, and he's got to watch where it's going and how it's climbing. It's quite an ordeal and quite a process. It's better not to get bit. Okay? When you're out in your garden, wear rubber boots. Don't wear Crocs. Don't wear shoes. If you can afford it, buy a pair of snake boots. They sell them. Because the last thing you want to do is have something like that spoiling your whole year. I'll have some links at the bottom you guys can read. I'll even have a link to where you can see where people died in the 20th century here, where they've died in gardens and what happened to them and everything else, and they have it listed by item. That's good for an interesting read. But you don't want to be walking around in your yard with all these vines and everything going. That is nothing but snake heaven. And all you're going to do is get yourself in trouble. So stay safe. Pay attention for snakes. And like I said, if you do get bit, back up 4 or 5 steps and sit down. And the reason you're doing that, because if your blood pressure moves too quickly, you pass out. And then if you end up hitting your head, well, now you got, that problem going on at the same time with the snake bite. You just made yourself worse. And that's not what you're trying to do. And then get your butt to a hospital very quickly. And understand, there is nothing that will cure a snake bite. Not if you cut it, not if you use Benadryl, not if you use a snake kit. Nothing exists except the anti-venom. All right, guys. Stay safe. Watch for snakes. I'll catch you guys on the next one.